Welcome all to the Weekly Outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Before I get started, I just want to mention that the cost of the course is going to go up at the end of this year. So get in before the end of the year. Or else you'll have to pay an extra $500 USD. Cost of the course is going up to $1,500 USD. So just letting you know. And I'm going to start with DXY, but on the monthly, we're getting to extreme levels now on a lot of the pairs. So on the monthly, we got a WXY X2 and a Z up. We're up to that 123.6, and we can get up to that 161.8 as a second target. We are starting to get bearish divergence. That may change, but at this stage we do have possible bear divergence. On the daily, nothing's really changed. You know, we got that WX extended wave Y. We're looking for that X2 and then the Z up. As we mentioned, we can get an A, B, C in here and go and break that top, and that's happened. When we look at the H4, we got that A, B, C. There was a buy set up here last week. If you took that, you definitely want to be at break even. You know, we're at highs. So really what we're looking for now is sells. You know, if we draw a quick trend line in here, yeah, we're starting to get that bearish divergence. This is looking bullish in here for one more up. If you get a little bullish setup, you can look for that. It's not something I would trade because we're already getting that bearish divergence. But wherever this wave ends, you know, we'll be looking for a bearish setup to sell for that daily X2 down to the 38.2. AU on the daily. So we're just looking at this last section to keep these videos a little bit shorter. Looking at A, B, C. So we're looking for a little bit more downside. Technically, this C wave has broken the starting point of ending point of wave A. So technically it is complete, but still looking for a little bit more downside. H4, there's a couple of scenarios here. We get an A and this is the B and we're in a C now, or it becomes more complex and we get an A, B, C in the B wave as a flat, running flat or expanding flat, and then we get the C down. If we have a look at the H1's very similar to H4. We got this, can look at this as an A, B, C in here as a running flat. And then we get the A, B, C. And then, like I said, we can get an A, B, C in the B wave on the H4. We've got that bullish divergence, so it becomes very risky to sell, you know. But, you know, if you do get a bearish setup, you'd have to go down to the lower time frames. If you've got a bearish setup in here, you could look for it just to go and break that low. You're just scalping, basically, if you're looking for the short at this stage. EU, I might go to the monthly just to show you what we're looking at. Very similar to DXY. We got that WXY X2 and we're getting that Z down. It's very close to that 123.6 and the second target is at 161.8. So I dare say we will get bullish divergence in this. Even if it comes down to this 161.8, we'll get that bullish divergence. So it becomes risky to sell at lows, you know. Looking at the daily, we got that extended wave. We got a WX extended wave Y. We'll be looking for that X2 and then the Z down. H4, we got this nice A, B, C in here. Breakout, we got this nice bearish setup in here, and we're getting another bearish setup in here. This is looking very bearish. Again, we're at a low and we do have bullish divergence here, so it becomes very risky. Me personally, I just stay out, and sit on the sideline until I get a reversal. This, yeah, very. I'd just stay out of this at this present moment. There's really not much you can do with this on the H1. Like, I'm looking at an A, B, C. In here, I'm looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a leading diagonal, and then we get an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C. I was looking for a little bit more upside on this one here, but it's fallen over. So if you do get a little bearish setup, if you're inclined to trade this at the lows for sells, if you get a bearish setup in here, you could look for a sell and go and break that low. You definitely want a nice little bear flag in here before you attempt it. GU, I'll quickly go to the monthly. So it's very similar. We're getting those 5 wave structures. We get a W, X, Y, X2, and we get a Z down. Hadn't got close to the 123.6 or the 161.8. We're nearly breaking the low here. We have broken the end of wave Y in this wave Z, so technically it is complete, but we can't rule out more downside, down to the 161.8 or even down to the 200. No one knows where this wave will end, but we're looking for a reversal. We want a reversal in the market. On the daily, we're looking at WX extended wave Y, and then we'll be looking for X2 up to the 38.2 and the Z down. Again, we're getting bullish divergence here on the daily. So, yeah, very risky to sell. On the H4, we're looking at WXY. We'll be waiting for that X2 and then look for the Z down. You really, if you're going to sell, you have to wait for this correction. Very risky to be, just selling flags down here. On the H1, there is a flag there. Again, extremely risky. If you get a little flag in here, you could look for a sell, just scalping. I'll be more inclined to wait for the low, nice impulse up, and a buy setup. And then I want to buy up to this 38.2 or even the 50 fib. NU on the daily. So we're looking at this W, very large X and then a wave Y, and we'll be looking for an X2 and then a Z down. This can become quite complicated because we're looking at the time factor in the two. At this stage, we're looking at this as an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C. Yeah, this has broken the low here and we have the bullish divergence, so very risky to sell, like many of the others. H4, we just got one wave down. On the H1, we're getting that bullish divergence again. We got this bullish divergence here, but this can be an A, B, C up to the 100 fib. If you get a reversal and a little bearish setup, well, you can look for a sell. Again, very risky, just a scalp short. if you're looking for the sells, it's just a scalp. That's it. In and out, and that's it. Take your profit. UY on the daily. Actually, should show the monthly on this one. So on the monthly, we're looking at this A, B, C. It's not up to the 100 fib yet. We do have bearish divergence at this stage, but that may change. We may lose that bearish divergence. It will depend how high this goes and if that divergence holds. But at this stage, we do have bearish divergence, so we sort of looking for downside, but nothing's to say that this can't get to that 100 fib or even to the 161.8 or the 123.6. If it becomes impulsive, well, we'll more than likely get to that 161.8. On the daily, nothing's changed. We're looking for that WX extended wave Y. We'll be looking for the X2 and then the Z up. Like I've been mentioning, we get an A, B, C in here and go up and break the top. Well, that's happened. If we look at the H4. H4, it's looking very motive. So we'll get a WXY. We'll be looking for that X2 and then the Z up. Again, we're at highs. So, you really have to wait for this X2 before you attempt to look for a buy setup to buy that Z up. That's the safest option. On the H1, you are getting a little bearish flag in here. We do have bearish divergence between here and here. You are getting a little bearish flag if I zoom in a bit. So you'd have to go down to the lower time frames, but if you get a little bearish flag and a sell setup, you could look for the sell, and we'll be targeting that 38.2 first target. The Swissy on the daily. Again, we're looking for this similar size correction as that over here. So this is going, like I've been saying, can become quite complex to fill in this void in the time factor in the corrections. So at this stage, I'm looking at it as an A, B, C, and then we can get an A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C to fill in that time factor. And then, if we get a buy set up, well, we could get that Z up. H4, nothing's changed since last week. We didn't get the sell set up. We have more of a buy set up here, like I mentioned. If you took that, you definitely want to be starting to take profit. We're looking for a reversal. Well, not a reversal, but we're looking for more downside. I don't think there's any sell setups on it. No, this one didn't go and break the top. So this is more than likely something. This is the top here. This didn't quite go and break that top. So, sort of can be some sort of a flat in here and a bullish setup to go and break that top. It's not something I'd buy, but you could scalp it if you're inclined to do so. I'm more interested in the sell, so wherever this ends, I'd be looking for nice impulse down and a sell setup to sell. UCAD on the daily. So this one's becoming quite interesting. We've got an A, B, C. This wave didn't get up to that 100 fib. And we had that bearish divergence. So I was sort of looking for more downside. When we go to the H4, you'll see what happened. we got that A, B, C down, and we had that bullish divergence. So, you know, when this happened, we were looking for the buys to go and break the top because we had this correction. Now we're getting it like a WX wave Y. We're still in a wave Y. We'll be looking for an X2 and then a Z up. Yeah, sort of getting a bullish setup in here. If I go down to the H1, might see it a little bit better. You know, again, extremely risky. H1, we have the bearish divergence, but this is looking bullish in here. Right? So if you do get a bullish setup, you could scalp it just to come break the top again, but it's not something I'd trade. We may have a bull hidden here. You'd have to check to see if you got a bull hidden. If you got a bull hidden, well, you know, you could give it a go. Again, you can't trade it as bull hidden because, yeah, can't really go into that. But yeah, GY on the daily, we're getting this like WX, Y, X2 and the Z up. We got that Z up and we got the bearish divergence. We got a nice impulse down and then another nice impulse up. So as soon as that happened, I was just looking for a flat in here for more upside. I was looking for an A, B, C in here and then an A, B, C. We didn't get that. We haven't got that C up yet. Like I said last week, I'd be staying out of this. It's not giving us what we're looking for when we look at structures. And as you can see, it's just going sideways. You know, this is sort of like a triangle, you know, for another more downside. But yeah, again, you know, it's too uncertain what sort of structure we're getting. I'd just stay out of it. But yeah, if you find a trade on it, go for it. EG on the daily. So we got an A, B, C up. This C up here went and broke above this ending point of the larger A wave. And then it come down and broke below it again. So technically this structure here is complete. So we've got that like A, B, C. It didn't go and break the low, but it's reversing. We can see that it's reversing. So on the H4, we've got that nice correction in here. It's looking very motive. We've got that WXY. It's up to 161.8. We don't have any bearish divergence. I'd be waiting for 38.2 retracement and then looking for the Z up. At this stage, we're at a high, so it becomes risky to buy up here. But, you know, we just broke the top here, so we do have the bearish divergence. We could look at it as an A, B, C in here. And then if you get a buy set up, well, then you could, you know, scalp another buy up to, say, the 200 fib if you wished. But, yeah, I'll be waiting for this wave to end, give us a sell set up, and sell down to that 38.2. Gold on the daily. So this is becoming quite complex as well. Looking at that A, B, C. It never went. It started to go and it never went. So more than likely this is an A, B, C in here for a flat. Get an A, B, C. I am looking for that low to be broken. Doesn't necessarily have to be broken, but yeah. So we got that W, X, Y, X2, Z down on the H4. We lost all the bullish divergence, like I've been mentioning many times. So all I was looking for is a correction in here and then go and break the low. We had that bear hidden. So I'm looking for this to go and break the low. It may become more complex. This may become a larger correction as an A, B as a running flat, or an expanding flat and go and break the low, or just a regular flat where it's an A, B, C as a regular flat, and then give us another one down. And that's if this one doesn't go and break that low. We'll have to look at these different structures afterwards, but possible structures to look forward to. On the H1, we got that extended wave Z, and we lost all the bullish divergence. So we can sort of start looking at an A, B, C here. And then we get an A, B, C. It's still looking rather bullish. So, if we quickly go down to the M15, you can see here, this is looking rather bullish. We do have a bear hidden here. So, if you do take this, if you do get a setup to take this, you definitely want to be break even at that top, because price may just come up, break that top, and then fall over, and the bear hidden play out and go and break this low. So just be mindful of that if you are looking for that buy. If you do get the buy set up and it does go and break that top, well, then you can keep it. You can keep that trade if it goes and breaks that top. Yep. WTI on the daily. So again, this is quite complex. Looking at that A, B, C, then an A, B, C, A, B, C on the daily. We got that wave Z up and lost all the bearish divergence. So I was just looking for another correction in here, larger correction, and then we get more upside. We're still in this correction. On the H4, we got so on the H4, looking at that WXY, then we got an A, B, C as a flat, and we come down to break that low. But we are getting a lot of bullish divergence. It becomes very risky to sell. This was your trade in here. This was your trade in here. But like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, it's just continued to go down. Here I was just looking for a correction and then another one down. Looking for nothing's changed. We're waiting for this correction. We're maybe starting to get that correction. It may be a flat in here, like a running flat for an A, B, C, and go and break the low, and then give us that bullish divergence. If that's what happens and it just falls over from here, breaks that low, well, then we'll be looking for the buy setup, because more than likely we'll get bullish divergence. But ideally, I would have liked to see, a correction in here and then give us one down. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. But yeah, we can sort of look at that as a flat. Again, if we're trading it as a flat, it's virtually just about broken the low. So yeah, unless you're experienced, I'd just stay out of it for a time being. Bitcoin on the daily. So we're looking at this A, B, C. We're looking for a reversal here. Instead, we got this, and like I've been saying for many moons, this is looking very corrective, and it did eventually fall over, gave another flag, fell over again. If we have a look at the H4, you're getting another sell set up here. You know, it's looking very bearish still. You know, but I dare say on the H1 we'd be getting bullish divergence now, so it starts to get risky. So yeah, we're starting to get that bullish divergence. But yeah, if you're inclined to get a sell set up, well, you could look for that sell. If we quickly go down to the M15, you may be actually getting a sell here, maybe. Yep. I'd be looking at this, you know, as a scalp. You get an A, B, C, and then you get an A, B, C. Then if you get any sell set up, you know, you could look for A, B, C down to 100 fib as a scalp, only a scalp. S&P on the daily. Look at that WXY. X2, we're looking for the Z down to go and break the low. This year first target, the 123.6 and then the 161.8. On the H4, there still is a chance that we get another high. We have a bull hidden here. So, you know, if you do get a bullish setup, you can. I mean, it's not valid to trade as bull hidden. I'm not going to tell you why, but it's not. Yeah, it's just not. You can't trade it as bull hidden, but sometimes they do play out. If you get a bullish setup, well, you could look for it. You either just get a deep correction or it does go up and break that top. So yeah, if we go down to the H1, there may be, you know, we're getting bullish divergence, so you can't really sell it. It's risky, you know. If you get a little sell set up in here, you know, you could look for it. It's only a scalp if you're selling though. Until that low gets broken, we want to see this low here be broken and take out that possible bull hidden, and then give us the larger correction, and then we can look for that sell. AU200 on the daily. So we got this WXY, X2, and a Z down. We're looking for that Z down. On the H4, again, you know, we still may get this Z up. Yeah. You see here, we got a bearish setup here. So if you do get a little flag in here, you could look for it. Again, very risky. I'd just be staying out of it for the time being. The DAX. This can be, you know, I'm looking at it as an A, B, C. This one didn't go up to that anywhere near that 100 pip and just bounced off that trend line. So I'm starting to look at it a little bit differently. So we get a flat in here for an A, B, C as a running flat. And then we get an A, B, C, and then we get the larger A, B, C as a larger running or expanding flat before we get an A, B, C. H4. I mean, you're getting, it's really on the H1. We'll go down to the H1. You can see here we've got you know, classic example of a flat, you know. So we get an A, B, C. If you get a little sell set up in here, you can look for it. Just be careful, you know. At the low, you want to be a break even, and it's more of a scalp again. And the FTSE on the daily, again, this is extremely messy. I mean, who knows what sort of structure this is, you know. It can turn into so many different structures. Me personally, I wouldn't trade it, you know. But you know, what we did get was that A, B, C. got that bearish setup to sell. We may get bull hidden here. So we may get another one up as some sort of a, A, P, C. Definitely can't rule it out. But yeah, there's no bullish divergence on the H1. So you're sort of getting, it's not really a sell setup as such yet. But, if you get a sell set up, well, you could look for a sell just for a scalp. It's going to break that low, because I dare say if the low gets broken again, we're going to get bullish divergence. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.